Okay, by names I am Brig.Gen.Maximus Gumisiriza, the Commandant of Peace Support Training Center. Okay, as far as my military career is concerned, briefly I joined this force in 1985, November, when it was still NRA. And I have served NRA since then, for all these years. By that time, joining was not looking for a job, but for safety. It's the situation that prompted me to join the National Resistance Army, the political situation by then. So I joined as a freedom fighter, not as a career. Yeah.
So it wasn't for a career like getting some money?
As a recruit, went through the training from Western Uganda to Kabamba as the first intake of NRA 86 after capture of state power. I was among the first trainees or recruits of NRA. On completion of recruit training, I was selected to attend political education course at Entebbe, of which I attended successfully. And on completion, we were deployed as a rifleman, of course, a private in 69 Battalion, which was commanded by then Major, I think, Francis Pipino. And our first deployment was in Marera, Kumi district by then. And my experience by that time was the engagement with the Karamajongo warriors. As new soldiers, of course, we were still not conversant with the drills of military tactics, but under the good command and control of our leaders by then, we managed to fight those warriors and recover about 200 heads of cattle, in which was not expected of us as new soldiers. And I am proud of that we made it to fight with the Karamojong and defeat them, and even recover cows that were turned to civilians. That was around 87. Then from there, we continued with other deployments until I participated in the war against the Resistance Army, still in Eastern Uganda. And by that time, we were in Rubongi Barracks, still under the command of Francis Pipino.
Is Commander Francis Pipino alive?
He must have died. Yeah. So that's my experience as a real soldier, private. I became an escort to who is now our ambassador in Somalia, Major General Nathan Mugisha, still in that unit. He was our adjutant. Became an escort to late Kerimu Rujogo, who was my OC. Yeah, that's part of my experience as an infantry soldier in 69 Battalion. Then from 69 Battalion, I think from 69 Battalion, we proceeded up to Soroti, got some promotions from corporal to sergeant, leading me to 1989, a milestone in my life for a reason. That's when I was selected to attend cadet course in Jinja. The course I attended and passed successfully. Then I became a commissioned officer That was a big milestone from a military rank to a commission rank. Threats, of course, instability. Stability in the country, political harassment of opponents by the government by then, roadblocks along the main high routes whereby you had even to pay money, whether you are a student going to school. You cannot pass a roadblock without showing your identity card, but the identity card must be accompanied by some little money. If not, you can stay on the roadblock for 3 days or even more. So that was the situation. And the economic hardships by then. You may not understand the situation because I can see you are young, but the economic situation by then, by that time, the hardships could influence one to join the liberators, who are led by our commander-in-chief, now His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. For us who joined 85, we never had a lot of hardships in getting food because it was just a few months that the NRM captured state power and they started providing like a government. So it was the NRA by that time that provides food. But those before capture of state power, troops used to solicit for food. Volunteers, the civilians, would give NRA food, and that was it, whether little or big. But that's the history for me that I never medical. Drugs were very few in 86 because I remember I felt sick. We had to resort to using herbs. My friends had to go to the bush to look for herbs because getting drugs was a tug of war. The government was not yet stable. So some traditional way of healing oneself was very key. Yeah, was a big problem. That's why we used to walk so many kilometers on foot as we conduct our operations, which is not the issue today. Transport is available in all modes. Let it be air, water, land. We have transport. As opposed to 86, 87, 80, almost up to 89, 90. Transport was a tug of war. But that's now history. Yeah. On foot, you'd be lucky to have a shoe when you are a recruit. Shoes were for commanders, not for recruits. And by that time, uniform did not matter. There was a different, a civilian shoe or slipper. It won't matter because the focus was to fight hard to win the war. Yeah. So some ammunition to fight with and some drugs to cater for your health. That was all. Yeah. Yeah, now government 38 years. 38 years since 86 because that's when we are counted as government troops. Then plus a few months of 85. So that makes it 38 years. Okay, some of the interesting and positive experiences. I participated in this force after commissioning as a political commissar of a battalion, and my commander would give me opportunity to talk to the civilians to convince them of the aims of our revolutions. That was very key to me, to be given a civilian audience to talk to in our operations. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, that was very important to me, being a political commissioner of a unit, to talk to soldiers, to advise them, to encourage them, and even an opportunity to talk to civilians so that they support our revolution. That was very key. Another issue that while serving that motivated me, the selection from a platoon commander without a lot of education to serve in Uganda Revenue Authority as an assistant revenue officer, because that's a civilian sort of sector, but I happen to have been selected to serve there for 3 years with civilians, tax collectors, and it made my experience in UPDF. In fact, it was still NRA by that time, because that was from 95. Yeah, it had become UPDF from 95 to 98. Totally different from the military work. To assist those revenue officers against smuggling. The unit by that time was called anti-smuggling unit. So would come in to prevent smuggling so that the revenue increases. So I'm proud of that, to have participated in that noble cause. So that's the best experience, and it was motivational because there we were catered for in terms of allowances, in terms of good salary, unlike in the UPDF by then. So I'm happy with that, to have served with Uganda Revenue Authority for 3 years. So I cherish that experience. Yeah. The message to the community is that as we join the community should know that we have served this country as citizens of Uganda, and we are ready to continue working with them as retired military officers to enhance the development of Uganda. So they should be ready to accept us back in society, ready to work with us to promote development of our country. As we retire, it's my appeal to the UPDF officers and men to be committed to the cause of this revolution and always focus on the national pillars, which include patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. As the commanding officer has been directing us towards that direction. Yeah. Welcome.